Thank you, Eva. So now we will start with VP of External Affairs, Nate. Technical. Stop.
Sarah is being the mic. Can we please speak into the mic today because it's really hard to hear something, and can we get the door closed because there's so much noise?
Okay. So I will ask everyone to don't make sounds, to be quiet during this GA because the sound is really difficult in this room. And with this, I will ask Nate to present the updates.
Nate, VP of External Relations. Firstly, good morning. Nice to see so many of you after International Night here. So since I delivered my report on their project, I had some meetings with our sponsors, so we also had an opportunity to meet them here. And I attended a couple of events in Brussels on behalf of Absa.
Thank you, Nate. Any questions, comments? APEF Portugal.
Matilda APEF Portugal, thank you for the update. Can you give us some more information about the EAHB EPSA internship platform? Because it sounds like really interesting.
Nate, VPR. Well, yes, and if you're satisfied with the answer or not, just let me know. So basically this platform, we have it in partnership with EHP, so where I am an intern. So I am in charge of it, I manage it, and it's basically kind of like, well, me as an intern there, I'm just the link. I just like facilitate the discussion between hospitals and students. So what this internship is all about, it's EHP providing a list of hospitals, and then students who are EPSA members can apply for the placements there. So they send me the registration form, I forward everything to the hospital, and then I'm just basically overseeing the discussion between them and try to help if someone wants some help. But basically, yeah, we provide internship in hospital in Europe.
Thank you, Nate. Any others? Afab Austria.
Jelena Afab Austria, I was just wondering, was this promoted somehow through Absa, and if where? Because I didn't see it.
It's VPR. Yes, also I promote stuff with EHP, but in the first months I was mainly focusing on the Congress. So promoting EHP Congress in Barcelona in March from 27 to 28. And now I will shift my focus into the internship platform as well, because it's the end of the year. Like we're getting towards the end of 2018, and then I have to send emails to all the hospitals. Can you can you work with us in 2019 as well? And when I have all this confirmed, I will promote it even further.
Jelena Afab Austria, I was just wondering, how many internships will there be? Do you know?
Nate, VPR. So like, what do you want our exact numbers of how many internships actually take place, or how many hospitals we have, how many students are applying, or like everything, or?
How many internships do you have? Like, how many hospitals?
Right. So I don't have the exact number right now because I would have to check it on the database, but it's
technical, BPH, BBC. We will try to manage that. Thank you.
So we have approximately 20-something hospital, and I am quite happy to say that just yesterday I got an email that one more wants to participate in the program, so that's quite nice. So for internships, the biggest problem I am facing here is unresponsiveness from hospitals and also students. So right now I have two internships are ongoing, one just finished. So, and Then before my start at EHP, Jared was also managing like 3 or 4.
IPSA, Darren? It was first, really.
Sorry, I just wanted to ask, how long does the average internship actually go for? Is it more like a summer program or is it a year long?
Nate's
VPR. It's completely up to a student in the hospital to decide. Some want to do it for a month, some want to do it for 3 months. I have a placement confirmed for 2019 already for 6 months, for example. So it's like June, December.
Thank you. Afop, Dade?
These internships, will they be an IMP placement or will they be something separate?
Nate's
VPR, no, this is completely not IMP related. This is EHP. So they are kind enough to help us with it, to provide opportunities to students to do internship in hospitals. So yeah, I am contacting hospitals through them, through their networks and recruiting them. So no, this is not IMP. Solely we're just the link between students and hospitals.
Afop, Dade?
So this is just for your mandate that these hospital placements will be there, or will they be like a new project from now on?
Nate's VPR, this has been an established project for years now, basically, since we started collaborating with EHP in 2011, I think. So from then ongoing, this is happening on a yearly basis. It's not just my mandate, it's not me who got this, I'm just managing it and taking it to a next level from people who are already interns there.
Thank you. Any more comments or questions in this topic? No? So I have a new point from Afop. Okay, thank you. Annette France?
Pierre, France. In your report, you talk about the discussion with IPSF to organize joint activities. So I would like to know what kind of activities, more than public health campaign, or because of MOU, the activities are, I know that IPSF and EPSA can do something or another, so what kind of activities would you like to organize?
Thank you. Nate's?
Yeah, Nate's VPR. I already explained this when you were asking me questions on my referral report, but okay, you were not on the GA on the first day, or no, I don't know. I can do it again. So I met with IPSF in The Hague on their first executive committee meeting, and we discussed to do some public health campaigns together. I already started. Sorry, this beamer is killing my face. I just have to look at it. Already started. I had the idea of creating a common thread. So for EPSA and for IPSF to discuss public health campaigns solely. So this has been done. So we are going to work on that. So I am just the facilitator, just the overseer of this discussion, because that's Deborah and Diogo's job to do this. So I just put us together, and now we are starting to discuss public health campaigns for this Monday. We're also talking about having a joint webinar, so this will also be discussed. I also had the idea to do a joint marketing skills event that CPSA kindly brought to IPSF and EPSA, but yeah, we'll see if that will be feasible with our busy schedule. Yeah, and that's it for now.
Thank you, Nate. I have a new point from the PhD, German.
Good morning, PhD Germany, Konstantin. Yes, thank you for your work so far. I have a question concerning your handover. As I imagine that also for you it's very crucial that you are handed over all the contacts. I would like to know how was the procedure in your handover period? Were you satisfied with how it went? Are there things to improve on that? What is your opinion on your handover concerning contacts?
Nate?
Okay, so my handover, Nate's PPR. handover with my predecessor, so Patrick from KMPS with the Netherlands, was actually really good. We started right away after Barlo. We had a nice spreadsheet for the whole team, but spreadsheet of what you should do, what you should cover. So this was kind of the basis of the initial stages of handover. So we basically went through everything. He presented me with his work point by point, so it was really beneficial what he did. Then contact-wise, I sent I sent emails to basically all of our partners when I officially took over the mandate. Patrick saying goodbye, me saying hello, let's work together. And this was a really nice thing that we did, because I actually got a nice response for everyone saying, yeah, wish you good luck with mandate, we should meet up. And I actually met up with people who are based in Brussels, with everyone. So regarding contacts, it was nice. I mean, of course, when you come to Brussels, you have to start on your own, but not because of the handover, but because you're a new person there. So yeah, contact-wise, it was good. I got a lot of useful contacts. I have a nice database. Yeah, it was nice, really good handover I have.
Thank you, mates. Any more questions, comments? No? SSFD, Slovenia?
Katja, SSFD. I'd like to get a bit more information on the collaboration with Think Young, because in your report you say that you are thinking about a collaboration on one of your projects. So what kind of a project is it?
Nate?
Nate's VVR. I don't know if you have a background of what Think Young is. Do you? Okay. Their motto is "We lobby for young people," so they basically focus on advocacy. They approached us last mandate already, saying that they want to collaborate with us, but then they faced some internal changes, and all that kind of didn't happen because they stopped responding to me during the summer. But then a month ago, I was approached. I was directed to them like a potential collaborator on a joint manifesto of healthcare young professional students for the European elections. So right now, I met with them a couple of weeks ago. It's a really nice thing, but yeah, I will ask them for more information, for concrete information, because what I did now was just this initial coffee, let's talk over coffee. Now I need more information from them, facts, so then I can discuss it with the executive if we would be willing to approach this more actively. So if we do, I will work on it together with Marta. Yeah. If you need more information on that, just write me an email at any point.
Thank you. Direct? No. I have AFOP, Austria. I have Absa, Serbia.
Hello, Mina Napster, Serbia. So first, Nate, thank you for your wonderful work so far. So my question is regarding something that's been pointed out in the team meeting, and that is there is a big disproportion between the number of students EPSA represents and the responses we have for the surveys that have been conducted so far, which can make the information collected perhaps not relevant enough to the institutions that then we have to collaborate with. So my question is, would you consider looking into collaborating directly with the universities that are connected to the member association EPSA represents to maybe help connecting these surveys to the students? And also, for example, for the mobility survey, maybe joining forces with ESN, who I would assume has already an established collaboration with those universities. But it's also a general question. Thank you.
Nice to be ER. I honestly did not think about that yet, but nice idea. I will look into it, why not? So far we were relying on you, the LSs, to promote our service and everything else to the students. But yeah, it's a nice thing. So I will look into it, and maybe someone else from the executive wants to say something about it.
Eva?
Yes, Eva, President. So as Nate said, this hasn't been discussed yet, But yeah, the exec will discuss it in an OEM and we'll let you know.
Absa?
Okay, Milan Absa, Serbia. So just to clarify, I didn't want to point out any issues with the promotion. I think everybody is really joining efforts in promoting so far. What I mean is that perhaps, I don't know, the importance the students have on something presented by the university and by a student association maybe kind of changes. So if, you know, you have something that's supported by the university itself, maybe they kind of see it as more important or more worth like investing their time into. So maybe that will like increase the sample that we have. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a new point and a France. So, does anyone have more IFFL?
Marcina IFFL Portugal, thank you for your report. So regarding the first EPSF executive meeting, you discussed the collaboration on PHC. So I would like to know what was the output of this discussion and if you discussed PHC with Deborah before the meeting.
Nate.
Nice, VBR. So as I said a bit earlier, the main outcome was for me as my position, because I do not directly organize them, but I'm just like the main link, like the bridge between EPSA and IPSF when it comes to special projects, was the joint thread in which we are all now there together, so we can discuss stuff and information are not lost. No, I did not approach Deborah before the meeting. I approached her after the meeting when I had feedback from IPSF, because they already provided us with some suggestions. And now we are gonna, educational department is gonna discuss what EPSA feels about that, and also give our ideas then to IPSF.
Diego?
Diogo, Vice President of Education. Just to clarify this a little bit, we are not saying that there are already campaigns settled to collaborate. We are going to collaborate, yeah, and we are going to work on it together with IPSF to see where we can collaborate and in what kind of campaigns.
Thank you. Does anyone have more questions or comments? So now I will ask Eva.
Eva, President, so then it's time for feedback. As you heard from the GA, you've been doing a really good job. You're in contact with many possible sponsors that we cannot disclose yet, but the executive knows how hard you've been working on that, and hopefully we'll get some more. And you've also been managing your department extremely well, I think. They are all very active and informed of the activities and what's expected of them. So yes, keep up the good work, and thank you so much for what you've done so far.
So now we'll go to Central IMP Coordinator. Mike, can you present your updates?
Hello, thank you so much. Mejitnik, Central IMP Coordinator. So, additions to the report. We have concluded with Milan with the application process. There were 37 applicants in just 2 weeks, which is amazing regarding promotion. And regarding communication, I've met my buddies, which are awesome, so that's it.
Thank you. Questions? Abed?
Absa, Portugal, thank you for the updates. I have just a question for you. Do you think in some strategy to approaching and encouraging the members without IMP placements in their countries?
Thank you, Mejitnik, Central IMP Coordinator. I have to ask to elaborate, for you to elaborate on that a bit. Do you want the names to find more placements, or?
Matilda, Portugal. I think there are a lot of countries without IMP placement, so you have like some strategies to motivate that names for it.
Mejitnik, Central IMP Coordinator. I've been in contact with a lot of NIMs. We also have a NIM dinner tonight. I will stress more about finding IMP placements, but like it's actually a quite a division right now. So we had with Prime Vigilance also Belgrade, we had also Prague, so a bit of Eastern Europe. Now we have Brussels, so I think the division is really good. But I'll try to investigate a bit further to find possibilities.
Ape?
Matilda Pev, Portugal. Thank you. And I think it's you can have like just a suggestion. You can have like some documents or things to provide us because it's really difficult to have IMP placements in some countries. And I think you can, if you want, and if you think it's like a good thing, you can provide us like more information, more strategies to approach companies or something.
May?
Okay, May Central IMP Coordinator. Yeah, during my mandate I'll also struggle a lot, not struggle, but deal with the IMP subsection on the professional page. So with that information, when it's going to be changed, I hopefully very soon, we'll be able to send that in to present IMP project to the companies as well, because now it's very students oriented and not that much company oriented. Thank you.
Any more questions? Direct? No? I have AFO.
Ria and AFIP Austria, our question is, what are your thoughts about Pharmadelic? Pharmadelic has been posting IMP placements, and based on your report, AFIP thinks that the promotion also worked very well because urgent IMP placements have been taken quite fast, and we think that is also due to that Pharmadelic has been posting these IMP placements. And we are curious about if you have thought about cooperation with Pharmadelic. Thank you.
Point of information, Eva?
Eva, President. So last mandate, EPSA was approached by Pharmadelic and the last executive decided not to collaborate with them.
May?
So May Žitnik, Central IMP Coordinator. In terms of Pharmadelic and what it does, it's up to them, like if they used and posted our IMP placements, it was not approached by us. So like, but in order, they have a very similar structure, but as executive said, like if we get approached, it will be a discussion, I guess, again, but it's not.
EPSA clarification. Wait a second.
Sally, EPSA UK. I'm sorry, I didn't hear whatever said. Did you say you are going to work with them? You're not going to work with them? Okay, thank you.
So I have a direct, CPSA.
Eva, CPSA, so if they approach you again, you will revise the collaboration, the executive will do it, because you mentioned in your report the possible collaboration.
Eva?
Eva, President, so this was not discussed yet because we were not approached, but of course whenever we are approached by anyone, we will discuss it, even if it might have been discussed before already.
Thank you. Any more comments or directs? Okay. CPSA.
Eliska, PSA. I wanted to ask you, how is the communication going with the IMP coordinators, and if you are planning any online meeting with them?
Sorry, this is not a direct. First I will take the other new points. So CPSA, we have a new point? Drop? Okay. Now we can take your point. You don't need to repeat.
Thank you very much for your question, Majitnik, Central IMP Coordinator. So we will have an online meeting very soon. Actually, firstly, we'll have an online training, and then during dinner we'll have a discussion about this as well. I have been communicating with NIMS mainly through emails and the WhatsApp group. Some of them approached me directly with some questions, which were really nice regarding promotion and development. And I think that is a good way to communicate now. Some of them are more active, some of them are less active. I understand most of the NIMS are also LSs, so it's hard to follow completely everything, but regarding in terms of work, it has been done for me, for my expectations. It's really good this year.
Thank you. AFOP, new point.
Jelena AFAP Austria, I was just wondering, has those trainings for NIMS happened before in previous mandates, or is it the first time?
Point of information, Eva.
Eva, President, yes, they have happened before, both online and before EPSA events, so during LS Day.
Like, because a lot of NIMS state that they have problems approaching, a lot of companies in their country are not interested in it, so I wanted to ask, is there any measurement that these trainings helped them? You know, is there anything that can say, okay, due to this training, we got this IMP placement, or due to this training, NIMS are feeling more confident to approach companies?
Right. So Major Central IMP Coordinator, as a trainer myself, we do take in insights and outcomes of a training in regards, but it's really hard to measure because this is a two-way street. So they can approach more, but still if they don't get a placement, it is hard to measure what this has changed exactly. So in terms of that, but I still think it's very good for their personal development, so I would still do these trainings with collaboration with trainings coordinators. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anyone have a new point? No? Nice. Oh, sorry. I have well.
IFFL Portugal. Thank you again for your report. Do you think you are collecting enough feedback from the LSs that are not NIMS? Thank you.
Right. Just want to elaborate a bit on what exactly?
Yeah, about the IMPs.
Sorry,
the FFL Portugal. About the IMPs in the countries, we also think it's important to be in contact with the LSs, not only with NIMS, to collect the feedback. Are you doing that enough? What do you think?
Thank you very much for your question, Major Central IMP Coordinator. I have not been collecting feedback from the LSs, but this brings up a nice point, so I'll see in the future what I can do to bring you more in about the IMP project as well.
Thank you. I have a new point from AFO.
Rian AFAP Austria. Please tell me what you do. I sometimes really have difficulties what the Central IMP Coordinator does. We have the national IMP coordinators that look for IMP placements, and then we have you as well. And I read in your report that NATES provided us with IMP placements or found connections for IMP placements, but you haven't so far, if I remember correctly. So what is your plan for the future? How hard will you work to get more placements?
Nate? So, what Central IMP Coordinator does is a coordinator of all the national IMP coordinators, and I do collaborate with NATES. So this was an IMP that already happened before, so Paulo Mendes was in Milan before, which is the call we had open now. So what I do is I coordinate with all the NIMS. I also help with the pre-selection process, which is like as many applications as we get is really hard. You have to go through everything with a NIM from another country that is not from there. And then I am in contact with human resources. When I'm contacting them, we are helping with the whole process, doing the video interviews as well. So we are on the RecRight platform, so we have to do video interviews which are conducted by me, and then I do again pre-selection and so on. So yeah, that's in general. Thank you.
Thank you. Direct. AFO.
Jelena AFAP Austria, I was just wondering because in some NIMP report it is stated actually that they don't think IMP placements will ever be possible in their country. So will you strive to have NIMPs in every association, even though it's not really necessary?
Eva, congratulations.
Eva President, so the position of NIMP is up to every member. So it's up to you to decide if you want it or not. We cannot force you to participate in this project. So.
Thank you. Questions? Comments? Nate?
It's VTR. So Mike, you know what time is now? It's time for me to give you feedback. Yeah, so thank you very much for the work you did so far. Really, I really mean it. We have a really nice communication flow. I like how reactive you are, especially when we got this urgent mile and promotion now. I got an email, Mike got an email, 5 minutes later we both responded, basically the same thing. So really I like your activeness, I like your presence online. We need to work on some stuff, you know what? We still have stuff to improve, but so far you did a good job promoting, you did a good job contacting, being in contact with placements you already have. So really keep it up and we'll be in touch.
So now let's continue with the mobility coordinator. Baron, please come here and present your updates.
Hello everyone. I'm Baran, mobility coordinator. I would like to give you some information about since to my report. Otherwise, okay. Since I just sent my report, our first TrueNet project just completed. Last Monday, the first part of the project was organized, and during my Mondays, the other parts happened, and I tried to follow the projects. I asked them to feedbacks. Secondly, the first interprofessional TrueNet project of my mandate happened. Again, I asked their feedback. I start to follow the projects. And thirdly, I also start the conversation with the Absa, European Integration and Culture Director. We are going to have a mutual open call for the new interprofessional TVNet. For the students' guides, we have just created a new Facebook group for the ambassadors. As you know that we had a new open call for them. And I try to give more information to them, and still it is very beginning phase, so the project is still in the developing. And lastly, during the team meeting, my proposal, which is about humanitarian mobility project, was accepted by the team. We are going to organize a humanitarian mobility project with NGO, which is Happy Caravan. It provides education and support for the refugees. I will give you more information about this over the email, but right now we are very happy to start a collaborate with the NGO. Now I would like to show you my presentation a little bit about the TeamNet and ambassadors.
Technical.
As Eva President, this is not updates on your report anymore, so if you'll open the floor and then you can present this.
Okay, I will open the floor for questions and comments. I have a new point from Baran.
Okay, this is to show the numbers about the TVNet. I would like to firstly stress out something that all of the numbers are just I get data from my mandate. They are not show they don't show the from last mandate, and also all of the data based on the registration form. So right now we have like 3 different type of the project. One of them is the TreeNet. Actually 2 parts happen, so it is like a 2 TreeNet. and one of them is interprofessional TVNet, and the other rest of them are the TVNet, like 7 of them are the future project. They haven't organized yet. The others are the just happened since my Monday start. And we can pass the other. And just this is shows just the distribution of the visiting and hosting organizations. I made 2 different slides for the visiting and the hosting organizations because some of them happened last Monday, so I cannot calculate them, but I would like to also stress that. So I took all of these data. Can we pass this? Okay, can we pass also these because I already explained. And this is shown based on the ambassadors in numbers. I would like to give you some information about the ambassadors in here. You can see the countries and also the associations in my presentation. We received 20 applications from different countries. Still, we are getting some. We are receiving new applications. So it's not the last update, but it is very close. And this is shown based on the countries and cities. I put especially this information on my presentation because unfortunately we do not cover all countries right now, but our aim is to reach as much as to all countries because almost all of the European countries are participating to Erasmus program. And that's all for the presentation.
Thank you, Baran. I have a new point from AFO.
Jelena, AFAP Austria, first of all, I want to say thank you because I approached you also before and because I wasn't clear about the student's guide, and I told you we have an Absa ambassador, and she didn't it was in the mandate of your predecessor, and she didn't get any email about that they have to apply again, and they didn't get any. She didn't get any information that the EPSA ambassador is 1 year. So how do you gonna solve this problem of those EPSA ambassadors that were in this previous mandate? How do you gonna contact them? Because you said you didn't receive any contact, or you couldn't because of GDPR or something like that. Can you please elaborate on that?
Baden.
Okay. Baran, Mobility Coordinator, thank you for your question. Last mandate, actually, the project has not gone very well. There was a communication problem with my predecessors and ambassadors, and actually the communication dropped out, and my predecessor didn't receive also the messages from the ambassadors. During my handover, we talked about that. She said that they agreed on the always, they will be always ambassador, but as a new team, we have just decided that they should be just a 1 mandate because of the activity of the ambassadors. We would like just the active ambassadors. So we thought that it would be better to be each mandate to receive any applications from them. So what I have done, I sent them a message on the Facebook group. I sent them the individual message about they can fill the new registration form. Also, I sent them the email with the new form. So if they want, they can still join the project.
Thank you. I have a new point from KNPSV. Drop. So, APEF Portugal.
Mentees Portugal. I have a question for you regarding the humanitarian project. I think it's like I really liked your proposal because I saw it in team meeting. But I just have a question. Are you contacting like the PHSS coordinator or discussing with her the humanitarian mobility project?
Madam Mobility Coordinator. Yes, we are going to collaborate with all educational department regarding all content and activities. After that, we will send you more information about it.
I have a new point, fast food Romania.
One Fast Food Romania. You have stated in your report that you want to increase interaction between TWINET coordinators. As I think that this would be really beneficial, how do you plan on doing it?
Baran, Mobility Coordinator. Yes, you're right. I would like to increase the interaction between the TWINET coordinators. So, for example, today we will have a lunch together. And secondly, I think it will be beneficial to organize a hangout with the TWINET coordinators. Online meeting will be very beneficial. And maybe we will have a training for the TWINET coordinators. And aside from this, I'm always available for them, and I'm always approach them individually, and I follow the project. So I think this could help us.
Thank you. I have a new point from BPSA UK.
Sally, BPSA UK, forgive me if you covered this and I just missed it, but you said that you plan to update the welcome package. How's that going? Because I'm desperate.
Baran, Mobility Coordinator. Yes, actually it is right now. We haven't prepared them yet, but we are working on them. During my first part of Monday, it was so busy with the new projects, but it's on the list. We are going to update them.
PhD with a new point.
BPhD, Konstantin. Yeah, we in Germany we're not doing as many TWINETs as we would like to do. This is mainly due to the very different times set we have in our years of studies, which is clashing with the other European countries. So at the moment it's very easy for us to find possible TWINET partners, and we get in contact with them. But then it's like we will always turn out in the end, we cannot find a time slot. And then we go over again, try to find a new partner, talk with them for a while, and then we see, okay, it's not fitting time-wise. So it would be, for us, it would be more beneficial to say, okay, we have a time slot, we take any partner who is available in that time. So I would be interested in, is that a problem which is, in your experience, also arising in other countries? And if so, have you thought of any solutions maybe? Yeah, thank you.
Baran?
Baran, Mobility Coordinator. Actually, we have some tools for the showing information to the TWINET coordinators. It's a TWINET map, for example. You can see all of the planets and the future projects in there. So you can see the timeline of the other project, so you can approach them. And also in Facebook group, you can always promote your projects, your time durations, everything, all of the details can be published on the Facebook group. And also, after you agreed with the organization, you can make a kind of agreement, or you can just leave a little bit flexibility in your regarding dates, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, comments? So I have a new point from Absa.
Jelena Afab, Austria. I was just wondering how the Erasmus student get the contacts from the Absa ambassadors, because there was this thing of like, yeah, there are the contacts of the Absa ambassadors on the website. I couldn't find that. Also, I don't understand what is this Erasmus database. Is this for getting the contacts, or what is that? Can you please? Yeah, thank you.
Baron?
I'm mobility coordinator. Since we have got a new applications from the ambassadors, we are going to create a new section under the students guide on the EPSA website. On this new page, you can see all of the contact details of the ambassadors, so people can approach them easily. And secondly, Erasmus coordinator database is the faculty of the different faculties, Erasmus coordinators contact information actually. It also shows the students, it also shows the city's information and some information about the curriculum and educational and some conditions.
Thank you, Baron. So now I have Ubi Pharma, Portugal.
Margarida, Ubi Pharma. I would like to congratulate you about your report and about the good news about the humanitarian mobility project. I'm happy to see that updates already. I hope the LSs will receive more written information about this soon. And I would also like to know if you plan to contact the LSs about the local projects in this field, because for my association this is a very special topic.
Pardon?
I'm mobility coordinator. Yes, we have a plan to contact with the LSs, with our public health coordinators. We are going to investigate what kind of activities are held by our members in regarding the humanitarian area.
Thank you. Absa, Serbia, with a new point.
Mina Absa, Serbia. First of all, Baran, thank you for all your help and communication in the upcoming Twinets and also the interprofessional one. There has been a lot of things to take care of, and you were always responsive and very approachable. My question is, when this is something that we have come across as an association, because we always have many interested students in all of our local associations for Twinets. So then, when looking for a partner, we often encounter an association that is for the first time organizing a Twinet. And then sometimes in the planning, the problem that comes up is the lack of understanding of their respective faculties for the project and for the absence that is required when going to visit another hosting association. So my question is, would you see fit to somehow help these potentially new associations in this project to kind of get more understanding for their faculties and actually come through with the project? Thank you.
Baran, mobility coordinator. We always try to send them as much as information and try to display how to organize the Twinet project, but I can only suggest that maybe the more experienced organization should take the first part, and when they see how it's organized, after they make a better one. I think I can only suggest right now this, and I can send more information. Maybe we can also meet online, and I can give them more details if any necessity happens.
Darek, Absa.
Mina Absa, Serbia. Yes, thank you. The question, maybe I wasn't clear enough. It was regarding the lack of understanding from the staff at the faculty, so professors and like deans of education, for the absence required. So what I had in mind was maybe a kind of a support letter or something like that, because you know, as an EPSA mobility coordinator, maybe it would have more leverage than some student from their association, from their faculty approaching the dean and saying, okay, we want to go away for a week. Thank you.
Baden?
Para mobility coordinator, yes, we can send them to support letters and more information. First, I need to consult with my department and VP External Relations. After that, if any organization needs, we can prepare. I think there won't be problem for our side.
Point of information, Eva?
Eva, President, this has actually been happening already. If you ever need an invitation letter to an EPSA event, an explanation that you're participating in a project, you have to write to me, and as the President, I'll write it. So we've been doing it, so feel free to ask for any, like not just TWINET related, any EPSA project you have. I can write you a letter saying that you're participating in it for your university.
Thank you, Eva. Any more questions or comments? If not, I have Nate's.
Nate's VPR. Baran, thank you for everything you have done in the past months. As you can all see, he did a really good job. With the Students Guide, we have a new logo, which was non-existent before. Now it's a really nice one, also thanks to the art department. But he had the ideas for everything. He's always sending emails around, always approaching coordinators. I'm also in the group, so I see that he's active. You know what you are doing. You have your goals set, you have your priorities, and you are also reachable, approachable, for which I am extremely happy, and I am satisfied with you with your work as well. Thank you. We will keep it up. We will now work on humanitarian, develop that, and all the other things will just follow. So thank you very much, Baran.
Now we will continue with Professional Affairs Coordinator, Paulina. Can you please put your updates?
So, hello to all of you. One, can you hear me? Okay, so my name is Paulina Kruk, I'm Professional Affairs Coordinator, and here are my updates. Can we move with the presentation? Okay, I can go on without it. That's fine. So first of all, we are having the biggest project, which is mentoring project, and in this case we obtained 23 applications from mentors. We started actually from scratch. So this is it. Now we are also preparing guidelines for mentors, and also we are talking with alumni advisory boards to consult it with them. Then we have open call for mentees, which will be held until 12th of November, and then we will go with the pairing process of mentors with mentees. So this is for that. Then we will have Career Week. We are preparing videos for the Career Week during AA. It will be done tomorrow. Then we have Career First. We already prepared one. We are already working on the next one with the next RC for the annual Congress. Also, we are working with EPSA. Bless you. We are working with EPSA on preparing webinar with them, and I guess we will have a bigger collaboration also on the mentoring project with them. So yeah, that's for the updates. That's it.
Thank you, Paulina. Now I open the floor for questions and comments.
Katja SSFD. Paulina, thank you for your updates. So I understand the open call for mentees is open now, and then you will pair them up with mentors, but I didn't see any information on when the project will actually start. Could you give us maybe a timeline?
Paulina?
Yes, Paulina, Professional Affairs Coordinator. So the project will start in December. We are now having the open call, so then we will have like a few weeks so that I could do like a first selection process, and then the final decision will go through Mentor. So I will consult them with that, and we will start the project in December. And it will last until May so that we could finish it before the exam period. So they will be like free to have their like personal stuff and education on university, so it will be good for them, for the mentees.
Thank you. Afo, new point.
Rian, AFIP Austria. I think I already wrote you an email about this, but we had a mentor last year who said had some constructive criticism for you about how everything was run last year, and I'm curious if you thought about how to change it. So if you would apply again to become a mentor, he would have better guidelines and would be properly introduced to his mentees. Thank you.
Paulina?
Yes, Paulina, professional affairs coordinator. Yes, I received feedback, a lot of feedback about this. I was also investigating and talking with people. So that's the reason why the mentors guidelines are created, and they are also consulted with alumni advisory board, as there is a lot of people there who have a bigger experience in this field. So yeah, we will tackle this year.
Thank you. I have another new point from AFOP.
Jelena, AFIP Austria. Last mandate there was like this own webinars for mentees, where it was like in the mentee group, and I couldn't clearly understand, like, is this going to happen again, or is this going to be with those chat with professional webinars and you're just going to promote it for mentees, or will there be webinars only for mentees?
Paulina?
Yes, Paulina, professional affairs coordinator. Yeah, we were discussing it already during the team meeting, that it would be nice to have like explicitly webinars and educational sessions online only for mentees. I guess that thanks to EPG collaboration, they are really willing to prepare webinars. So I guess we'll basically discuss it with them as well. But yes, definitely there will be separate explicit sessions for the mentees in the mentoring project.
AFOP, direct?
Jelena, AFIP Austria, as I was participating in the mentoring project last mandate, I want to say I really see how you like process all of this, and it looks really good. I just also want you to suggest, because last mandate it didn't quite work out, because like a lot of mentees didn't fill out the doodle, there were a lot of mentees not doing the webinars, so I would still suggest to do it. Or what happened with me was like my mentor actually approached me and said, hey mentee, go on this webinar, you know what I mean? Or like go like also with chat with professional webinars, hey mentee, I'm gonna be on this webinar, I will also attend it, will you attend it? And then what we did was I discussed it with my mentor afterwards. So I would suggest like approaching the mentors as well, saying to their mentees they should attend the webinars, or like how to say, encourage them to do so.
Point of information, Marta?
Marta Simões, Vice President of European Affairs. Last mandate, every mentee was warned of the webinars because everyone had emails about it. There was no GDPR issues, so it was possible to spam everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Marta. Please stand up the next time that you talk. So I have a new direct, Paulina.
So yes, I agree, but this is the reason why communicational guidelines are created, and this point, exactly this point, was covered there, so it will be done this year.
Thank you. Any more directs? No. I have a new point from APEF.
Absa Portugal, you stated in your report that you had like some problems with talking with companies for the career fair for this Congress. So did you think in some strategies to increase the number of that companies in the career fair for the next event?
Paulina?
I guess the best way to approach it is just to collaborate more closely with the reception committee and also with our VP of External Relations. So I guess this is the strategy to tackle this for the next time.
Thank you. Guilherme, I have a new point.
Hi, good morning, Guy Agel, I'm member of the advisory board. Pauline, thank you for your work so far. For me, I just have a point. As a mentor and as a previous mentor, I just have one point. When you try to innovate on a mentoring project, just be careful on the way that us mentors are people that work. So it's the mentorship and everything that is on the work should be on the mentee. So this year you try to innovate, and which can be good if you believe it's good for the mentor. For the mentee, that is how it should be. But please be careful when, and this is for the future as well, when you try to innovate, not to put a strain on the mentor, because then we are doing this as a pro bono. We are doing this as, because we want to give back something to the students. We want to bring back something back to Absa. But the strain and all the work should be on the mentee side. The mentee, for me, and I've been a mentor for 4 years since the project started, the mentee should be the owner of the relationship. The mentee should be the one that actually has the project, has everything. So this is actually for the future, because this year try to put a lot of projects on the mentor itself, and that I believe that can actually be a bit of a backlash, that mentors are actually detracted to become part of the project, because then it actually becomes a tutorship and becomes actually a lot of work for the mentor. So it shouldn't be like that. We are there to work for the mentee, to answer the questions of the mentee, but the mentee should be the one owning, because it's for the development of the mentee, it's for the future of the mentee. So just for the future as well, for whoever will be the next professional affairs coordinator, just keep that in mind, please.
Thank you. Direct, Paulina.
Paulina, Professional Affairs Coordinator, thank you for your input. We are in constant contact, so that's also the reason why we were discussing it with the Alumni Advisory Board, so that you could also give us some input from your point of view. So yes, definitely I will take it into consideration.
Any more questions or comments? Nate?
Nice, VPR. So Paulina, yeah, I don't know what to say. You are doing a really nice job. You have set everything for mentoring project for chatted professionals. You are spamming me with emails all the time. You are annoying, so which is awesome. It means you are really dedicated to your position. You want to develop it further. We are working on several guidelines. You are approachable, responsive, and I know you will keep it up throughout the mandate. So again, thank you very much. You're an awesome coordinator.
Now we will continue our agenda with Vice President of Internal Affairs. Aya, can you please present your updates?
Thank you. So, Anya, VPIA. Since I have submitted my report, I organized the second Internal Affairs Department meeting and LS online hangout. I got one more Friends of Association application, and I got in contact with 2 people who are interested in becoming individual members. I wrote the Belgrade Survival Guide. I attended the CPSA National Congress and General Assembly. I wrote the BMF report for the KMPSV General Assembly and CPSA National Congress. I collected posters for EPSA boards, Meet Me Fair Market and Twinet Market. I shared the open call for scrutineers, photographers and meeting secretaries with the support fund receivers. We also had the LS Day, and I got in contact with ANEP France because they're organizing the 30 meeting for us.
Thank you. Now I open the floor for questions and comments. I have AFOP first. AFOP.
Rian AFIP Austria, I'm just curious how your handover was and if everything went to plan during that time. Thank you.
Anya?
Anya, VPIA. My handover period didn't go as planned, but we solved this with Churt. We had 3 meetings and 1 live meeting together with Eva. I read all of the documents, and once I got the access to the official email account, I went through all the emails. So.
Direct, AFO?
Rian AFIP Austria, so you weren't in contact with the past Vice President of Internal Affairs? Just to clarify.
I am.
Anya, VPIA, unfortunately not.
Thank you. I have a new comment from APEF.
Matilda Pev, Portugal, thank you for the update. I just have a question for you regarding WHSS. Do you believe that's important or makes sense to have it in your portfolio?
Point of information, Eva?
Eva, President, this was discussed at the team meeting and we have an action point to investigate why it is under the portfolio, and then we will decide. So we don't have any information on that yet.
Thank you. So, SSFB, Romania?
Sorina, SSFB Romania. I saw in your report that you wanted to start promoting the next generation training. You have any updates on that? Because you said that you want to start it before the first period of the registration.
Yes, Anya, VPIA. Yes, this is planned for November, but I need to discuss this first with the PR department.
Thank you. I have APEF.
Marta Pev, Portugal, thank you, Anya, for your reports and updates. You state on your report that there are still some missing information about our newest members. Can you please elaborate more on that, please?
Anya?
Yes, Anya, VPIA. So I had some problems with contacting Albania, Maya Albania. This is the newest member of EPSA. But I got in contact with them 2 weeks before the autumn assembly, and I finally got the contact of their LS. So this is solved now.
Thank you. Any more comments? APEF, new point?
Matilda, Portugal. I think it's good to give you some feedback, and I think you are doing a really, really good job, and we are like an LS family now because of you. So I really like the LSA, and I think it's really important to have it. So congratulations.
Thank you. I have a direct VFSO. There.
Doreen, VFSO Belgium, I agree with that, and I also want to add to that I have the feeling that you're very critical for yourself. I like the self-reflecting attitude, but you're doing a great job, and please keep that in mind. And it's normal that you did not reach all of your goals yet, because it's just a quarter of your mandate, but keep up the good work.
Thank you. I have a new point, AFOP.
Rian AFIP Austria, I think we all know that we have one person from Italy here, and we kicked them out last year, and I'm curious how the conversations are going with Italy now again.
I am.
Yes, that one person is EPSA individual member. Yes.
AFOP, direct.
Jelena AFIP Austria, but the thing is, he was approaching us and kind of showed interest on
establishing again, asking about how to become members again, like asking about how difficult it is to establish that stuff. So I was wondering if he maybe also approached you, or maybe if he knows who's responsible for that.
Anya?
Yes, Anya VPIA, we have also been in contact with him, so he has all the information that he needs regards that.
Thank you. Questions? Comments? I have Eva. Eva, please.
Eva, President, so yes, it's feedback time. As everyone's been saying, you can be very critical on yourself, which is good, because I think it makes you work even more in the end. But as everyone's been saying, you've been doing a really amazing job. You didn't have the easiest handover period, but you picked it up really, really well, and yeah, all of the projects are going. And I also want to stress that Anya is my vice president, and she's been helping me a lot with team management, team building activities, and all of that. So I think also this collaboration is now really good. And yeah, keep up the good work. I couldn't have wished for a better VPIA.
Thank you. Now we will continue with Ruben. It's not here. It's Maeva. Events coordinator. Please wait 1 minute. Technical?
Yes, we are trying to find Maeva. So yes, Anya will now go get her, and then we'll proceed with her report.
Maeva is coming. Don't worry. Maeva, it's your report now. Can you present your updates?
Hello everyone. So, sorry. Since I delivered my report, I held my first event workshop. I analyzed the survey of the summer university in Izmir. I had several meetings with the AC, the next AC, to discuss the organization. And yes, that's mostly it. I presented the results to the team meeting that I attended, and I discussed some regulation changes that I wanted to have for the event handbook.
Thank you, Maeva. Any more comments? I open the floor for comments. Afo.
Rian AFIP Austria, I want to thank you because I had a lot of input for you, and I think you took it really well, and you did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you. KNPSV.
Janine, KNP's for the Netherlands. In most of the reports, I read that the communication between the RC and the team members was non-existing. For example, the treasurer, the VP of education. I think you have noticed this, and did you intervene? Did you contact the RC about this? Because I think it should have been better before the concourse.
Maeva?
Yes, I was in communication with the RC a lot. I was striving to. Can you hear me all? Yeah. I was striving to be a great link between my team and the RC. Anytime they had something to ask them, they were asking me, and I was also transmitting. Also, I'm trying to improve the use of the Google Drive to make them like be in communication through that as well. And for
wait, ma'am, I have a diver, KNPSV.
Janine, KNPSV Netherlands. Did you notice that communication between the team and the RC wasn't going well, and did you do something about it actively?
Yes, I noticed, and I'm planning to have more meetings, trying to involve the team to meet, to discuss more with the RCs in order for the communication to operate.
Thank you. Now I have a new point from APEF. APEF.
Matilda of Portugal. Can you elaborate a bit more about the idea of investigating? You investigate like a different way to pay the events fee.
Maeva?
Can I give an example? Okay. So, for example, during this AC, the Netherlands asked about the possibility to pay as group, as it was more easier for them, and also when it comes to transfer fee, they were able to divide it and reduce the fee for the participant. I think it will be also beneficial for the RC because they will just have to deal with one big payment at the time and just have details. And in terms of logistics of payment, it will be really useful, but it will not be mandatory for all the countries. It will be up to the countries to decide if they want to go for it or not, if it's easier for them.
Direct, APEF.
Matilda, Portugal. So you will have that possibility like in the form of the registrations, or you are thinking to investigate it with the associations, because we have all different statutes and everything, and I think you have to investigate it because it's not manageable for some associations.
Maeva?
This is why it will not be mandatory. I will propose it to all of the LSs, and those of you who will be interested in having this, you will contact us, and in the form, we discussed it in the team meeting, and we proposed that in the form we will put a possibility, like if they want to pay like that, they can state it, and then it will happen for the country that needs it. But if you think that it doesn't fit your association, you don't have to, and you can continue the way it is now.
Thank you. I have a FOP with a new point. 2 new points. One.
Jelena of Austria, nice weather by the way. I wanted to ask or clarify more on, because I noticed yesterday about the auction night. When do the buyers receive the item? Because like they came up on the stage and they got it, so you gave them the item and then they just took it, or is it like you give it to them, then take it again, wait till they pay, and then give it to them again?
Maeva?
We give it to them, and they go and Chris, the treasurer, made them register their name, the items, the price, and also their invoice address. So he will be able to, contact them and like give them an invoice and a recap of what they bought.
Thank you. Now I have the other new point from AFOP.
Rian AFIP Austria, I wanted to know how closely you looked at the vicinities where the parties take place during your first look at by the pre-visit. Thank you.
During the pre-visit, I do my best to try to visit all the
all the venues for the activities and everything during the pre-visit, but still sometimes the RC can, for example, when I had the pre-visit in Belgrade, we couldn't have access to some of the venues, but then the RC was still in contact with me and updated me on the venues that they have. But it still happened that last minute there is always some last minute inconvenience, and we just try with the RC to manage the best as they can to find something suitable for the venues. So it may not be perfect, but we are striving to adapt and adjust to have the best venues possible to ensure a good and smooth event.
Thank you. I have PPHSA with a new point.
Peter, BPHSA Bulgaria. Maev, I want to thank you. We have amazing cooperation with you, and we can always reach you, and you always answer our questions. So thank you very much, and keep the good work.
Thank you. Gilles?
Guilherme, just a suggestion, and you were talking about the auction. I'm attending events for a while, and the best auctions that I've ever seen is during Gala. This is a suggestion that I'm actually suggesting you to put it in the events handbook. Gala nights, so I'm attending events since 2008. All the best auctions that I've seen have been in Gala. Because not only you have actually people sitting down paying attention to it, you don't ruin a night, so to say, from other nights, but also there's something that happens is that you have the delegations around the table. So sometimes you can actually, it's not a single person that is bidding, but as you are around the table, for instance, let's say that KNPSV has a table around, and actually they bid as a delegation, they share the cost, and only in Gala you have that kind of environment that is good for that.
Thank you. I have a point of information. Eva?
Eva, President. So we have a working statement in regards to that we discussed, and yes, also Gala Night was discussed as well for the reasons you stated, but the thing is that we decided to choose event by event because sometimes the Gala venue either doesn't allow it or we don't have enough time to actually do it because the stage is not available for the whole night, so we're doing it on a case-to-case basis, which is the best we can do, and for each event we really investigate the best night, and sometimes it's just not possible to do it at Gala.
Thank you, Eva. Eva?
Regarding the auction, it's not set on international night. We decided to investigate together with the reception committee to find the location where the logistics are the best. So it can be on Gala night if the logistics are, yeah, but yes, thank you for that.
Thank you. Any more comments or questions? Not. I have a 12.
Marcelino IFFO of Portugal. Thank you for your report. So, since you don't mention in your report how to improve the number of the participants of the less active countries in EPSA events, I would like to know if you took any actions for this Congress, or if you have any idea to do it in the future in events.
Maeva, clarification.
You want to know how we can improve the number of participants? Okay.
Maeva?
Well, so far I don't think that we have. I think promotion is the best way to raise the number of participants, and the reception committees are doing a great job in promoting their event, and this is the most thing to raise like the interest of the students. But I can also maybe get more in touch through the LSs and giving maybe more information and details for them to be able to raise interest in within their students at local level.
Thank you. Any more comments or questions? No, I have Anya.
Anya, VPIA. Yes, Maeva, as I already told you, you've been doing an amazing job. You have overview over every event that is happening in the near future. As I heard from the chairpersons, you're collaborating with them very, very well. You're also very enthusiastic and a great motivation and source of energy for the whole team and also for the whole Congress. Keep up the good work and thank you for everything.
You can go now, Maya. Thank you. Now we will continue with Milka, event chairperson of AA.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all okay. So the update since I presented my report, we had a small problems issues, but we solved it. Our treasurer went missing, so I was doing the treasurer work. Also, we had to change the international night venue. And at the last moment, we had to change all the venues for educational program because they canceled on us on the first day of the Congress. Oh, sorry. And I think that is almost it. We checked all the venues, paid our bills, and communicated with participants. So, yes, if you have any questions, please.
Okay, thank you. Now I open the floor for questions and comments. First,
Katja, since a lot of cancellations happened, I'm wondering how is that possible? Did you have a written agreement with them, and they still cancelled, or did you only like talk to them?
Yes, for the international night we had written agreement, but at the end they told us they changed their policy about alcohol, that there is no possibility to bring our alcohol inside, and that is the only point of the international night. So we had to change the venue. And for the faculty, you don't have agreement, you don't have a contract because you only go and check in on your name because we don't pay because we are students. But with the professor, a lot of other student association has problem this year, so he just changed his mind last minute and cancelled.
Thank you, Smilka. PhD with a new point.
Konstantin, BPhD Germany. I want to thank you so far. I think we all know how much work is involved in doing such a congress, so first of all, big thank you. However, the German delegation had some problems with communication beforehand. It was very hard to come by information since the information was mainly shared on Facebook, and Facebook is not very popular in Germany anymore. People don't use it, and since this was the only way to get information, so we had problems on that. I would just like to know why you decided to go for an, let's say, private communication platform which is not used by everybody, instead of going for email, which is obviously everybody has it since we had to register via email. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, we had a problem with the Google group. Not everyone received emails. Their emails were just returning because not all the people entered the right emails. There were some mistakes, and then the whole Google group went by. So, and then we need to investigate which emails are okay, which not. So it was just easier at the moment to post everything in the Facebook group. But if people wrote us emails, we responded immediately. So.
Thank you, Smilka. I have a new point from Derek.
Here in AFIP Austria, I assume the wrong email situation happens at every Congress, and I will assume that they usually will correct the emails. So they will send the emails to everyone later. Thank you.
I have a new point now. Another direct, AFO.
Jelena AFIP Austria, it's not about emails or Facebook, it should be both. That's the point. Because like in Facebook groups, you get all the information, everything's mixed up, and you should actually do both the emails and the Facebook group, so that everything is covered.
Smilka?
Yes, I said I agree, there was a problem, sorry.
Direct, VFSO.
Doreen, VFSO Belgium. I think my email was correct, but I think we just want more like when you register that you get an email. For example, this is the you have to register for the educational program, like a general overview from what will come in the future and what they can expect. And I got this for other congresses, but this time I did not receive it, and my email address was correct, so I don't think that I missed something on that. So just a point for improvement.
Now I have a new point from AFOP. The two. Okay. KNPSV.
Imke KNPSV, the Netherlands. We've heard that. Okay, we've heard that the treasurer wasn't responsive to the treasurer of the team, and how are the finances going? Because that's an important thing, I think, for Congress.
Smilka?
The finances are great. I am dealing with it. We will be on point. We are all on point. I was working closely with the treasurer while he was active, and I had all overview, so it was a problem for me to continue.
Thank you. Direct, KNPSV.
Janine KNPSV for the Netherlands, but why wasn't there contact between the RC and the treasurer of the team?
I will take Smilka first and after CBSA.
We sent every time before the G8 our overview, but later maybe he just didn't respond and I didn't follow through because I wasn't CC'd, so I couldn't, yeah.
Sorry, point of information, Chris?
Chris, as a treasurer, I did have information with Smilka on some finances.
No, CBSA?
Eva, CPSA. So also regarding the finances and the treasurer, I noticed there were a lot of problems with additional payments. So people had to pay additional sums of money at the Congress. So also in the emails, there wasn't stated the reason why that happened. Did you notice that there was a problem with the registration forms that you copied out of the countries that are in the EU? You didn't state the. So it was written that if a country that every member, like from every country, you should check if we are in SEPA. So for example, Croatia is in SEPA, but since Serbia isn't, you still have to decide for the payment, like to be our, like, did you realize that?
Smilka?
No, everyone checked, but no one realized. But still, it says that you need to pay your own expenses for the transfer fees. So we all expect it's not okay for someone to pay the whole fee and for someone to not. We lost almost 1,000 euros because of that. So I think it's okay if everyone gave their money. We didn't want to ask for people to pay again the transfer fee, so they can just bring money here. I thought it was the easiest solution, because if someone is missing 5 euros and needs to go to the bank to pay 5 euros, they will need to pay 35. So I don't see a point in that. Yeah.
Point of information?
Eva, President, yes, for that reason, all registration forms always state that all costs incurred by the bank transfer should be covered by the participants. The RC cannot anticipate which countries will have that, which countries won't, but it's clearly stated when you register that you'll have to pay for it, but then it's your responsibility to know how much your bank will take.
CPSA direct?
Eva, CPSA, so not to confuse yourselves, there was not a problem with paying the additional. That's normal that the participants had to pay, that's not a problem. I just thought that it wasn't well explained in the email why that happened. Like, it was a really short email, so some participants got confused. That's mostly my point.
Milka?
Yeah, we sent everyone who asked, sent the form from the bank that I got. Like, they are missing the fee because of the expenses, so they can see that we are not imagining that. Yeah, but maybe it should be clearly stated, but again, you should pay your own expenses for every congress. So.
APF with direct?
Marta APF Portugal. On this matter, we would also like to remark that the timing when the email was sent was very bad because some of the participants were already in the pre-congress tour, so that didn't help a lot because they were out of, in our case, they were out of Portugal already, so it was really, really bad.
Milka?
Yes, I agree with you on that. I'm sorry, because of the treasure, I think I didn't manage earlier to do it. So.
I have a technical to remind you that we need to be careful with our conversation, with our discussions, because we start with a new point as the treasure, the communication with treasure, and we went over to the money of the participants. It's a new point, it's not a direct, okay? So now I will take over with EPSA, Hungary.
Absa, Hungary. So we heard as the reports from the executives and the coordinators that the communication with the RC and them, it didn't go smoothly. Were you aware of that? And if yes, how did you try to? So, because we heard the reports from the executive and the coordinators too, and a lot of them said that the conversations between the RC and them didn't go smoothly. Were you aware of that? And if yes, how did you try to overcome?
Milka?
I was aware if I was CC'd, so I could poke RC members privately, but sometimes I wasn't in the CC, so I couldn't see. And also the EPSA team members approached me privately, so again I poked the RC members. So.
Thank you. Now APF, new point.
Marta APF, Portugal. Regarding the bracelets for the social program, you have to have a minimum of attendance in the educational program. And in this Congress, we didn't have bracelets, and we are interested to know what happened because we are concerned that having those kind of freedom that might encourage participants to don't attend the educational program, and we feel that is vital in every EPSA event.
Yeah, we didn't check the first day because it was the problem with Eventbrite. People didn't think that they need the tickets for the symposium because it's mandatory, and also we are missing some sessions for some people, and it was just not manageable for the helping team members to go through the pictures and go through Eventbrite at that moment. So that's why we didn't check, but we think everyone was at the symposium. And also tonight we will check everyone, yes.
Thank you. AFOP, new point.
Rian AFIP Austria, I would like to remind the whole GA that a lot of stuff went wrong for this RC, but still it worked out, and thank you very much for your hard work. Congratulations.
Thank you. Any more comments? Annette France?
Pierre, Annette France. I just have a question regarding the sponsorships with RC. I think that you were your team was in charge finding sponsorships, but I know that Coca-Cola is a good sponsorship, especially after parties and after international night. But there is an ethical problem, a problem with ethic. Like I heard that during the social program or the presentation of there was something with Coca-Cola in the social program or education program. A presentation about how they do the recruitment policy. Here, okay, you get it. And I don't think that it's very ethic for us. What do you think about ethic and sponsorship for the next RC or things like this?
Smilka?
Yes, it was for the career fair, but there were the only HRs who wanted to participate in the career fair, so that is the only reason we called them. Yeah. It's not about like they didn't ask because they are sponsors, they donated it to us without any conditions. Yes, thank you. Without any conditions, we asked them because we didn't have any other HRs for the career fair. That is only why.
Clarification, Afo? You need to repeat that with the microphone.
Rian AFIP Austria. Rian AFIP Austria. Sorry. What was your question? I understood Coca-Cola and ethics, and I'm a bit confused.
Technical?
Eva, President, yes, and this is GA, so let's please not swear it's the highest decision-making body, so just...
Annette France?
Pierre, Annette France, my question was regarding the ethic of Coca-Cola in this kind of Congress.
Afo?
Rian AFIP Austria. We serve alcohol here. I don't really understand the problem.
Does anyone have any KNPSV? It's a bullshit? Bullshit? Bullshit?
Janine, KNP Netherlands. I also saw that Durex is a sponsor, like materials. It's stated in the report, and some report it was, but because we really need the condoms, we are missing.
It's a point of information or a clarification, Paulina? Clarification, Paulina?
Paulina, Professional Affairs Coordinator. So for the career fair, yes, Coca-Cola had prolonged presentation, but it was anyway about recruitment, and the participants were engaging a lot with them. And yeah, it was prolonged because they were actually very helpful for us because we had some technical issues. So that's the reason why we prolonged it. So yeah.
Bullshit?
Yeah, to the response to the previous one, they stole condoms from us. They delivered it to the faculty, but someone stole the box for 500.
Bullshit, Apple.
Jelena AFIP Austria, if someone needs those, ASEP brought a lot of them from their campaign, so just approach them.
Thank you for the bullshits. Now let's re-enter in the discussion. Does anyone have any comment or question? Maeva?
Maeva, events coordinator. I just want to thank Smilka since we took over the mandate. The collaboration was great. She did an amazing job. You can't imagine how she was great this week with all the inconvenience and everything, but she managed really well. At some point, I think we are all having a lot of fun, and just a big thank you to that.
Thank you. Now I have Diogo with a new point.
Diogo, Vice President of Education. As Vice President of Education, I was always, especially during this week, in contact with the RC. And since you are here representing the RC, I want to thank you, because technicalities happen, but what is important is for you to not panic and to be solution focused. And I like very much that the RC was always thinking about solutions and not making a fuss with the technicalities that happen. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Technical, Laura?
Technical, Laura, IT coordinator. The beamer is very hot, like overheated, so we need to cool it down a little bit because it stopped projecting. I'm very sorry.
Thank you. I have Aya.
Anya, VPIA, yes, we all knew how many last-minute cancellations happened this week. I think you handled it very well. You found good solutions. Thank you for that, and thank you for not freaking out, and thank you for all your help.
Thank you. Now we can collect. Technical.
Eva, President, yes, the next point in the agenda would be the approval of exec reports, since we now heard all of them. But since we don't have the beamer, I would propose to go to the break now, since the session is almost over, and continue in the next session. The first thing next session will be Ruben, because he's available. Then we will go to exec reports, and then we will continue with the annual reception. And if there's still time, we will proceed to the regulations.
Technical, Laura.
Laura, IT coordinator. Since the beamer has some issues, and also I believe some delegations have trouble reading it anyway, I would like to ask the members if they would be interested in opening an Adobe Connect, where I can also live stream the presentation for you, so you can watch it on your own table, on your own laptop.
Another technical, Bosnia.
Yeah, the stuff. I don't know about you guys, but I don't have internet the whole GA, so I don't think we could actually do the add-on.
Yeah, we try.
We will try to manage that.
Okay, so Mariana?
Please raise your voting cards high so the scrutineer can start to collect them.
Exactly.
That will be recorded on live stream.
Guys, the standing orders are still in effect, so please, silence. You're still not supposed to talk to each other and walk around.
Please raise your voting cards high. I have collected 23 voting cards.
And I suspend the standing orders. Thank you.
Thank you. So you can keep on letting me.
Give constructive feedback.
Actually, I think it was better than yesterday.
We're asking